In this video, I'm going to walk you through lesson 3 of B1. And so we begin our lesson by taking a look back at the maps of wildebeest migration. Now, these maps were actually provided in the slideshow, the scavenger hunt that we did in lesson 2. And you can see we're going to take a look back, and these red areas are where the wildebeest are located during different months of the year. So we're going to just have a class discussion to kick off the lesson about what we notice, what we wonder, what might be some possible reasons they migrate, and then what evidence would we need to see if that were the cause of the migration. And then we're going to watch a video interview. That's this one right here. And this is with Dr. Simon Meduma. Hopefully I am saying that correctly. Forgive me if I am not. He grew up in Tanzania and he studied wildebeest for his PhD research. He's been involved in research for all of his career in and about the Serengeti with a lot of different people. So he has a lot of knowledge that we can learn from. So we are then going to look at the video transcript, and this is everything that was said in the video, and we're going to annotate it. Now, here are the rules for annotation. They are going to underline ideas that could help us understand the wildebeest migration and circle ideas about data that were mentioned in the video. And if you have any question marks, you're going to put a question mark. And so we're going to look at the transcripts and we're going to mark up the text, and then we're going to go ahead and facilitate a discussion. Looks like we're going to turn and talk with a partner about what interests him in studying wildebeest and what did we figure out about poaching, and what did he decide, or what did they decide to investigate next, and how does this connect to our ideas about wildebeest migration. So just kind of priming the pump here on looking at evidence and research to understand how we can better understand an ecosystem and then make decisions about that ecosystem. We're going to add the word empirical evidence to our personal glossaries. Now, this is a strategy. You can do it in a lot of different ways. In high school Open Syed, it is suggested that you keep a personal glossary in student notebooks. And so as students develop the meaning of a word, and we co-construct a definition, we then write it in a personal glossary they write it in their notebooks. Now, usually you can set aside a couple pages in the front or the back of a notebook that could be for a personal glossary, but you're going to add more terms along the way. In middle school and elementary school, we build a word wall. And so this is where you put a picture and the term on the wall to help your multilingual learners, and as well as potentially the definition as well. But the pictures are really helpful for your MLs. You can still do a word wall in high school. It still makes sense. But as we moved into the secondary high school level, it was switched to personal glossary, but you can come up with any strategy you want for documenting terms that are basically earned as we develop meaning together. Then students are going to use a handout as they analyze some wildebeest data cards. So I'm going to show you the data cards first. If you do not have a kit, you'll need to print these, preferably in color. It really helps to see these migration patterns. And you'll cut them in half, and each group will get one set of data cards. This is the handout that students will use as they go through. The first one will be defining the purpose of the research. The second part is understanding the data's purpose. The third part is organizing data and looking for patterns. Now, once they have found patterns, they will then, and there's a slide that prompts this, they will write some conclusions. They'll draw some conclusions. So they're going to do this as a group. And you will see that they're going to go through all of this handout, and then they're going to create a data display with their small group. And it highlights any and all patterns they noticed or didn't notice. And so they're going to create basically a poster, and it's all about what do these patterns share or tell us about wildebeest migration. And then students are going to walk around the room, and they're going to compare and contrast the data displays. And while they do that, they are completing a similarities and differences T-chart in their notebook. So they're going to look for what the posters have in common, what are their differences, and if they have any questions, they can write those down as well. And then we end the lesson by creating another class consensus model. This is going to look very familiar to lesson 2 because you're going to use the map again. We're going to document the migration pattern of wildebeest. You can see it goes in this order. We now know that because we have the months and we know their location, so we can see it moves in this type of pattern. But we're not sure what's causing this pattern. Is it food? Is it predators? Is it disease? We are not sure about this. We have some questions about that. Now, I do want to make sure you realize that you're going to use a new map. You can find that on the Lesson 2 teacher reference map. It's going to be hard to add all this information on top of the other one you did in Lesson 2. So you can just have a new map that you add your new findings on. All right, that's it for Lesson 3. I'm going to go ahead and start talking about the prep in the prep video.